In this session, we have a lot of crazy hands to go over. And before we start, I want to go over a couple of sessions we played before this session. So they'll be up on your screen right here. Um, we have a couple losses, but mostly some big wins. Definitely the wins are outweighing the losses in this about span of 2 weeks. So the upswing is starting, and hopefully we can continue it in this video. Um, and at the end of this video, I have a special announcement, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But let's get into the video. In the first hand, we looked down at Queen, Jack of Hearts, and the Hijack, and we did chip down since our buy-in. We bought it for $100, and we're sitting at about $65. It limps to me, and I raise it to 10, and we get three callers, so we're going four ways to a flop of five of diamonds, Jack of clubs, 10 of spades. And we do flop top pair, pretty good kicker with some backdoor straight draws. So it does check to me, and I do continue here for 18. And we get a call from Smith, and then we get an all in from Luke, which has me covered. I do decide to put in a call here, and Smith also calls. So the pot's about $150, and we're gonna run this twice. So the first turn is a six of hearts, and first river is a two of hearts. So a whole lot of bricks, and we still have top pair, pretty good kicker. And the second turn is a six of clubs, and the second river is a six of diamonds. So two more bricks, still have top pair on both boards. And Queen Jack is gonna hold to be the best hand against Smiths. I believe he had Jack 9 for a smaller kicker, and I think Luke had King Queen for open ended. So these bricks certainly help me out here, and we do take this first pot down. In the next hand, we look down at Ace of Spades, 10 of Clubs in the big blind, and I'm gonna complete an open to $7, and we're gonna go four ways to a flop of 10 of Hearts, 10 of Spades, 3 of Spades. I mean, this game's pretty easy when you just like flop trips with the best kicker. So we're gonna slow play this one and check, and it's gonna check all the way around. So I'm like almost certain I have the best hand. The turn comes to Queen of Diamonds, not really changing much unless the opener had pocket queens. But I'm gonna lead out here for $12, and I get one, two, three callers. So we're going to the river of the four of hearts. So there's no flushes out there, no straights. I think almost every single time I had the best hand with ace 10. And I'm gonna let these people try and bluff when all the draw is missed, especially the front door flush draw. So I decided to check the river. We see a bet from Smith to $17, and we see a raise from Parker to $40. Now, when I saw this live, I was pretty sure Smith was just bluffing with straight air, and Parker might have had a 10, which is why he would have raised. So I decided to try and get the most out of my hand, and I go all in for my whole stack, which is like $175 behind. And we end up seeing a call from Smith, which I was kind of concerned about because I did put him on a bluff. And we also see a snap call from Parker, who calls for less. And sure enough, Smith actually had a 10 with a smaller kicker, and Parker had pocket threes for a flop the boat. So an insane flop in this hand, but we do have a side pot against Smith. So I lose the main pot with Parker and Smith, but I do beat Smith in the side pot as me and him both have pretty big stacks. So we're pretty much gonna break even from this hand. In this hand, we look down at 3 6 of diamonds in middle position, and I'm gonna open this pot up to $12 and get two callers. So we're gonna go three ways here to a flop of 9 of diamonds, king of clubs, 7 of hearts. And I'm gonna bet my range here, and I'm gonna bet out for 15. And we get one caller to our direct left from Christian. And the turn comes to 2 of spades. So another brick. We have absolutely no draws in this board and no pairs. And our only option here is to either check and give up or barrel. And Christian has like about $60 behind. So I think he's gonna fold most of my jams besides any like top pair holdings he has, like a king. So I go for it and I jam all in and he snap folds. So he probably didn't even have a pair, but either way our jam did get through and we do take this pot down. Now we are in straddle and look down at pocket kings. There is an open to $10 from Christian to our left, and he gets three callers, which is pretty normal for our game where we're going three, four, five ways to a flop almost every hand. But in this hand, the price is going up, and we're gonna make it $40. And Christian and Smith both make the call, and we go to a flop of Queen of Diamonds, Four of Clubs, Seven of Spades. Now I'm first to act here, and I'm gonna continue betting with a little down bet of $35. Now in hindsight, I could have gone a little bit lower, probably around $25, because really with this bet, I'm only targeting a queen, a top pair holding, and with a bet of $20 to $25, I think middling pocket pairs are gonna make the call. But I did bet $35, and both players did fold, so I did take this pot down on the flop and win about $100. Okay, so first of all, as you guys just saw in the video, Matt just knocked over all my chips in my stack. So Matt, if you're watching this, go have a nice day, Matt. And Smith, if you're seeing the video, Smith is grabbing for my cards when I told him that I'm recording and to watch the vlog, but he's very impatient. So Smith wanted to make sure that, I was betting with the good hand, and sure enough I was. So Smith, if you're watching this, which I know you are, nice hand. In the next hand, we look down at Ace of Spades, Ten of Diamonds, and there's a lot going on in this hand, so I'm going to freeze it right here for a second, and I'm going to let you guys watch the live game footage and game sound, then I'll come back and talk to you guys at the end of the hand. 36. Old.
47. Yeah.
Try to do it for the vlog.
It's so stupid.
That's so much. Hot odds.
You got 48, right?
Yeah, 47, but come on.
It's a horrible call. 47?
Dos Mesos?
Yeah.
Mesa. I have mediocre hand.
That's such cap.
You have a jack.
I said I have a good hand.
Yo, is there a jack in it?
Speed. Another one. Wow, and enough flush.
Okay, yeah, that's calm. Wow, that's cool.
Alright, 10, ace, 10. Matt, I said
What
10.
is this?
No, there's a 10. So we did end up flopping a backdoor flush draw on the flop on the first board. We turned to 10 with a flush draw, then river to nut flush. And on the second board, we did flop nothing, but we did turn a 10, and that 10 ended up being good on that board, so we did scoop both boards. So I guess, Luke, you were right. Ace 10 scoops. In this hand, we look down at pocket sevens. If you guys don't know this is my favorite hand. Although we're in a low jack, and I do open at $12 over some limps, and we get a one caller in Luke. So we are heads up to a flop of 8, 9, 10 with two spades. So we do flop open-ended, and I'm going to continue here and bet $12, and Luke pretty quickly calls. Now the turn is the ace of hearts, which I have some mixed feelings about. It is good for my range, but at the same time, it could be calling here with the ace of spades on the flop and be hitting that card. But I do decide to keep on betting here and try and rep this ace for my range. And I end up betting $25, and Luke calls again. So when Luke calls again, obviously pretty certain I'm beat. And when the river is a nine of hearts, which does not improve my hand at all, I do decide to give up here and check. And Luke ends up checking back and showing ace jack. So he did turn an ace, but also flopped a pretty nice hand with the open-ended draw as well. So Luke's gonna take this one down, and I'm gonna lose a pretty medium-sized pot here. Now we look down at jack of clubs, nine of clubs in the middle position, and I'm gonna open here to $12, and we don't get one, not two, but three callers. And we're going to a flop of four hearts, seven of spades, king of clubs. So we miss this flop completely, but we do flop a backdoor flush draw. Um, I'm gonna continue here with my range and just bet for $10, and we get two callers. And now the turn is the ten of hearts. So we do pick up a double gut shot, but obviously no flush draw. Um, I kind of feel like bluffing in this hand, so I did keep betting for $30 now, and now we only Christian call, so we did get one person to fold at least. And the river comes with the 10 of spades, so we miss our double gut shot pretty expectedly there. Um, and Mama didn't raise yet. No, you know what? So we're gonna keep on betting here, and we're gonna bet for $65. And Christian enters the tank. I'm praying he folds, praying, praying, and praying. And then he reaches for raising chips. And he raises to 160. So obviously, I'm not calling it with Jack High. So I do fold, and he shows Ace 10. So we did call the flop with Ace High, turned a middle pair, then hit trips on the river. So if the river is anything but an ace or a 10 there, I think we're definitely able to get him off the hand with the bet on river. So I'm not too mad about it, but definitely an unfortunate river card and definitely not the best card on river to bluff on, but I did go for it anyway, and obviously did not work. Now we look down at ace queen under the gun, and I'm gonna open here to $15. And we only get one caller out of Connor. So we're going heads up to a flop of jack of clubs, seven of diamonds. And I'm just gonna check this flop over to him, and I'm kind of just like check calling at this point. And the turn is a 10 of diamonds, so still have nothing here. This ace high. Um, and now Connor, I check, and Connor bets $20. And I do call to float here. Me and Connor have kind of a lot of history. And this is, I think, Connor's on tilt at the moment as well. So, we do call, and river is the nine of hearts. And I check on this river, and Connor snap goes all in. So an eight does make a straight, but not putting him on any eights here. And the snap all in is kind of fishy. When people snap like go all in or kind of snap raise, typically in my history, like of playing and seeing other people play, it's usually a sign of weakness. So I enter the tank for a while and I don't really feel like folding. So I do put in the call, and Connor throws his cards face down into the muck. So always a great feeling when you go for the hero call with ace high and their cards hit the muck, or they're not too excited to show their hand. So our ace high did win this pot here, and I'm pretty happy with this call. And then we look down at seven, eight of spades in the hijack, and there's gonna be a $12 open from Jay, and I'm gonna three bet here to $30. And I do this a couple of times a session. I try to with these kind of hands, seven, eight of spades, eight, nine suited, nine, 10 suited, those kind of hands. Try and three bet pre-flop sometimes, so people don't always put me on, obviously, the top of my range, like ace, king, aces, kings, all that good stuff. And we do get a fold from Christian to our left, and it folds all the way back around the table to Jay, who also folds. And after this hand, I did find out that our boy Christian to our left did end up folding ace queen pre-flop. So our raise definitely had an impact in this hand. Now you're sitting in under the gun +2 and look down at ace of clubs, eight of clubs. And I'm gonna call a $12 raise, and we're gonna go three ways here to a flop of 6, 8, 9. So we do flop middle pair, and I'm actually gonna decide to lead out here for $15. And I think any two face cards are gonna fold here. Any cards that just completely miss this board. And I do think obviously any seven is also gonna make the call. and we're obviously ahead of those hands. So we do get two callers, and the turn is the king of diamonds. And I'm gonna continue here because I think all those kings should have been folded pre-flop or on the flop. I'm sorry, and I'm gonna bet $40. And now we get one folder, and we get a call and Luke. And Luke could definitely still be calling here with just a seven. I don't think he would have folded on the turn right now for an open-ended draw. I think he plays kind of aggressive sometimes post flop. I think he's calling here with open-ended draw. And the river comes the two of diamonds, so a complete brick, except the backdoor diamonds that get there, but the front door flush draw did miss. So I check, kind of preparing to probably check call, but now I check and Luke bets 100. So a pretty sizable bet here on the river, almost pot, and I kind of entered the tank for a little bit. I'm obviously my hand is only a bluff catcher at this point, and the only hands I'm really beating are like 7x, maybe 6-7, just a 7 that missed a draw. I do still lose to some bluffs like 9-7 that he could be bluffing with, but obviously had the best hand in the end. But I do finally make the call, and he says I'm probably good, and I show my cards, and he does throws his into the muck. So another good call here, and we win a pretty sizable pot. And as you guys can see, we are still kind of racking our chips in from last hand, and we look down at 6-7 of spades, and I'm in under the gun +1, and I raise it to $12. And then we see a 3-bet from Connor to $32. And it does fold all the way back around to me, and obviously I'm not folding just yet. So I put in the call, and we go heads up to a flop of 8 jack 3, all hearts. And on this board, I don't think Connor ever has like any flushes except the occasional ace king of hearts, ace queen of hearts, obviously, but he still could have a lot of overpairs. And he does, or I check on this flop, and he snap checks back. And when he does this, I don't think he's really calling too many other bets. Either he has the nuts or he has nothing, in my opinion. And the turn comes a jack of clubs, so it does pair the board. I check, and now Connor bets 25. So I still kind of think he's either bluffing with obviously like the best hand with ace high or something like that, or he has like the nuts. And I get stupid, and I decide to go. I put him all in for about his stack, which is like $120, and he snaps me off, and obviously shows ace king of hearts. So pretty big punt from me here. We do just win a big pot and just give it pretty much half of it away the very next hand. Obviously, this did not need to happen, but oh well. So after that absolute horrific punt by me, I look down at Jack of Spades, 10 of Hearts, and the cutoff, and it's gonna fold around to me. I'm gonna open here at $15, and we do get two callers, and we head to a flop of Ace, Ace, Jack. So we do flop second pair, and most likely the best hand at the moment, especially after it checks to me. I bet $15, and we do get one caller though. The turn comes with 10 of clubs. So, I mean, I guess does complete some gut shots, but it checks, and I'm gonna check this one back just for pot control to see river. And river is a jack of clubs, and now gives me a boat. Obviously, still losing to any ace. We do now beat the straights that got there in a turn like king queen. And now Luke leads out here for a bet of $40, and I just snap call. Obviously, no point in raging if he has an ace, and if he has an ace, oh well, I'll pay him off. But we do call, and he says I'm good, so we do take this pot down. In this hand, we look down at pocket jacks in the middle position, and we see it open from Mason at $10, and I put in a 3-bet here to 35, and he does make the call, so we go to a flop of king of clubs, 2 of hearts, 5 of hearts, and Mason checks this over to me, and I'm going to check this back. In hindsight, I like a bet on this flop, but in real time, I did check this back. And then the turn comes a 7 of spades, and now Mason takes the lead for $25. This is also why I like a bet on the flop to kind of more see where I'm at. Mason does bluff a lot, and he can really have any hand here, so I do make the call. And river is the eight of spades. And now he checks to me, and he says he has two pair, which he doesn't normally lie. So I don't know why I decided to bet again. I bet 50, and he snap calls and says two pair. So I don't know what I was doing here. And now Tro is on tilt. Look down at 5-8 of hearts. Looks like aces to me. Let's see, I call raise to $12, and then Garcia jams all in for 42, and Mason, our opponent from last hand, who put me on tilt, calls a jam. And obviously, I'm just gonna fold. Kidding. I call, and we're going three ways to a flop with like 130 in the middle, one player all in already. And the flop comes king of clubs, queen of clubs, nine of diamonds. Absolutely horrible for my hand. I don't know what I expected here. Anyways, Mason checked, and then I check, and the turn is a seven of hearts. So we do pick up um a gut shot to a six, and now Mason bets 40. And any normal person would obviously fold their hand here and just call it quits, but Tro's on tilt. Obviously I call. In river comes the jack of diamonds. So we obviously don't hit our one out gut shot to the six. And now we see a check from Mason, and there is a $80 side pot buildup between me and him. And obviously, I don't have anything for showdown except a 8 high, which I don't think is good here. So I do go for the bluff, and I meant to bet 100, but I accidentally bet 75, which I already knew was too small. And now Mason enters a tank. And he tanks, he tanks, he tanks. About 2 minutes go by, and he sighs and says, "This is a horrible call," and calls with ace jack. Um, like third pair when there's one card to a straight. I mean, it's honestly, I have no words to describe that call. Obviously he was good, so maybe he just like still read me. But if you guys are watching this and are like itching to get into our game, I don't blame you guys. Like these are the type of players that we have in our game. Obviously pros. So I mean, just an insane hand. Obviously, I just punted off like probably half of my profit those last two hands. All right, Mason, you got me that hand. You cracked my jacks and then put me on tilt, and I just punted like $200 to you. So I hope you're happy with yourself. Now I look down at eight of hearts, six of hearts, and I'm in a position, and I raise it $12. And by the way, now we're shorthanded. We're like five ways for the rest of the night. We get a three bet to Connor to 30, and I make the call. So we go heads up to a flop of three of hearts, seven of clubs, and nine of hearts. So we absolutely smash this flop with open-ended straight draw and a flush draw. And I check, and Connor checks back. And the turn comes to six of spades, giving me now a pair. And I feel like I missed my chance to kind of like make a big pot or like bet on the flop when I checked. So I kind of feel like I have to check now and go in check call mode. So I do check. He checks or he bets 30 and I call. River is a king of clubs. So I miss everything again, and it goes check check, and he shows pocket jacks, and he's good. So now I'm down to like $100 in my stack, so like even on the night. And this hand happened so fast, I didn't have time to record the whole thing. But I did flop a boat with pocket nines and get it all in on the turn. And on the first river, I actually hit quads. In the second river, I still had a boat, and I did scoop both boards. So now I'm back to like $200 and up 100 on the session right now. And the thing I looked at pocket queens, and I opened at $12, and only Luke calls. So we go heads up to a flop of 10 of spades, 3 of clubs, king of spades. And now Luke leads out for 15, and I call. Turn is 8 of clubs, so now there's two flush draws out there, and still pretty much two straight draws. Just a pretty draw heavy board in general. Now Luke bets $40, and at the start of this hand, I had like 400 in my stack from winning some other small pots. And I'm still kind of like not satisfied with my stack. Still on tilt from what I punted earlier. And I do jam all in, hoping Luke has a draw, because I know he's betting this turn and flop with like any flush draw as well, and there's two draws out there, but he side calls with two pairs, so obviously we're drawing dead here to a queen, and we do run it twice, and I don't find a queen on either board, so this is another pretty much punt from me. Oh man, punts and tilt seem to be the trend right now, but we're on the button, look down at King Jack of Hearts, and I three bet here to $25, and we don't go one, not two, not three, but four people call, and we go five ways to a flop. So yes, every person on the table just called for $25. This pot just ballooned out of nowhere, and the flop comes king of clubs, four of clubs, eight of diamonds. So we do have top pair. Pretty sure we have the best hand still, but there's a flush draw out there. It checks to me. I'm gonna bet here to protect against these flush draws and any other maybe aces out there, some other BS hands. Everyone folds except Mason, who puts in the call. And we go to a turn which comes to 10 of clubs. So the flush draw does get there. I don't know if Mason has it yet or not, but I'm gonna pot control here and just check it back on the turn. And the river comes with two of clubs. So I'm pretty pissed with this run out. And I'm just gonna play the game sound so you guys can see my reaction to Mason's hand here.
Wow, I had the same hand.
Oh, these players, man, this is actually comical.
I had a decent hand face off.
It's actually insane how you're calling the flop. It's actually insane. I mean, it really is. Like, I hope you have a good paying job, Mason, because, I mean, this is not it. Actually fucking insane.
I also had the same.
That's actually insane.
Not a club.
Crashed out on Mason, so to speak. Because first of all, he called pre-flop for $25 with ace three offsuit. And when the flop comes king 4-8, he calls a $40 bet with ace high. And then proceeds to have a horseshoe up his ass and go runner clubs for the nut flush. And then checks the turn in the river. Honestly, I have no words for this hand, and if you guys thought I was on tilt before, just wait. So now we're down to about $200 in our stack. And looking at my favorite hand again, pocket sevens on the button. I call an $11 raise, and we're going five ways to a flop of 4-6-2. So we do have an overpair, which is always nice, but not super confident that I have the best hand right now. We see a bet from Jay, who was the pre-flop raiser, $25, and I'm the only one that makes a call. So we're going heads up to a turn of eight of hearts, which now gives me a gut shot to a 5. And we see a check from Jay. And when Jay checks, I'm pretty certain I had the best hand here on the turn. So I'm gonna go out here and bet for $40, and Jay does fold. So we do take this pot down. Alright, in the last hand of the night, we looked at Queen 10 of diamonds. It's getting late. Game's about to end soon. I'm trying to play some big pots. So Connor raised to 12, Mason called. I 3-bet to 30, and then Mason called, so we're heads up. And the flop is ace 7. We see a check from Mason, and then I go out here and bet $25. Just kind of gonna bet with the range here. Obviously on a ace paired board and the 7, like we have nothing. We don't have a backdoor flush draw, so I bet 25, trying to get on the fold. And Mason is pretty sticky, so he calls, which I expected. And the turn is a 5 of clubs. Obviously that does not change anything. I'm still barreling. Last hand of the night has to work somehow. I bet 50, and thankfully he folds, so we do win our last hand of the night here. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that session. We played for about 5.5 hours and won $345, which is obviously a nice win in a 1-1 game. So I want to go over a couple sessions that I played after this one and up to the current date, which is July 11th. So I'm going to post them on the screen right here. You guys can see from the screen we're on a nice upswing right now. Played at Mohegan Sun on July 3rd, won $600. Played at Jaden's house again on the 5th, which I did not record unfortunately, but had a crazy game, ran super well, played well, and when doing those two, I mean, you're gonna win a lot of money. So we won $1,075 in about almost 7 hours of playing, so that was a long night. Then we played at my house a couple days later and booked another win of $275. So all these wins are adding up, and I'm gonna post my current kind of profits for the past couple of months, or kind of since I started tracking my profits and losses starting May 5th. So you'll see it right here. Since May 5th, which is about a little over 2 months from now, 2 months and like a couple of days, we've profited almost $7,000. So this challenge is, we're coming close to the goal at 10,000. So I mean, it's been a crazy run. Hopefully I can keep it up next couple of weeks. We're averaging $41 an hour, which is honestly crazy. Um, so all those stats look amazing. Honestly, I'm on a pretty insane run, so they'll probably, drop a little bit here and there as we keep going. I mean, I can't run this good forever, right? I could only hope. But and the special announcement, um, in a couple Sundays from now, I think July 27th or 26th, whatever that Sunday is, I'll be playing on a stream 5-5 in Long Island, socially wild. I will make sure to post a link as it gets closer, but that's gonna be a big game for me and probably make or break this challenge.